Yakuza 3 has been considered the black sheep of the mainline series for a number of reasons. Boring combat, terrible story pacing, and dated visuals are just a few of the complaints that come up whenever fans talk about this game. Because of that, Yakuza 3 is often seen as one of the weakest entries, if not the weakest, in the entire saga. That's exactly why fans have been asking for a Kiwami 3 for years. And with the RGG Summit coming up in just 2 weeks, plus all the heavy rumors floating around, I thought now would be the perfect time to share my thoughts in this video. I'll go over why Kiwami 3 should be a top priority for RGG Studio, and how a remake could finally fix the issues that dragged the original down. Common problem for new players is that they often play the series in chronological order, starting with Yakuza 0, then Kiwami 1, and then Kiwami 2. And when they hit Yakuza 3, the drop in quality is so noticeable that it can be quite jarring. Some players even skip it entirely, and some even skip the series because of it. You could argue Yakuza 4 also feels dated, and that's true, but at least its gameplay still holds up decently. Yakuza 3 doesn't, and that's why a remake is far more urgent. But here's the thing, even though the gameplay is weak, Yakuza 3 is actually an integral part of the saga. It's the game that fully explores Kiryu's relationship with the kids at the orphanage, something that becomes absolutely vital to the emotional core of Yakuza 6 and even the man who raised his name. So if new players skip 3 because of how dated it feels, they end up missing a crucial piece of Kiryu's journey. A Kiwami 3 would fix that problem easily. RGG usually reuses a ton of assets from other titles to save time, and that's not a bad thing here. For Kiwami 3, the Kamurocho map from 2 could easily be reused with minor changes. Character models could be taken from newer games such as Ishin and Infinite Wealth. Even moveset reuse, which RGG often gets criticized for, could actually work in this case because it would just be staying faithful to the original Yakuza 3. Combat is the number one reason Yakuza 3 has such a bad reputation. The constant enemy blocking, low damage output, slow heat generation, broken dodging, cheap animations, and a lack of variety, all of this can be fixed. Ideally, Kiwami 3's combat should resemble something like, I don't know, the new Gaiden games, or even Lost Judgment. Yakuza 3 introduced chase missions where Kiryu either runs after or away from someone with a stamina bar. These are frustrating, especially on legend difficulty. The new QTE heavy chase style we saw in Judgment and Lost Judgment would fit much better. Yakuza 3 has one of the weakest minigames in the series, which is the Hostess Maker. It's just terribly slow, repetitive, with little reward and way too much RNG. The Yakuza 0 Cabaret Club feels like a much more evolved version of that idea. I wouldn't be against the idea of them just reusing that instead. Yakuza 3 has two main storylines, the orphanage and the Yakuza plot. Originally, the orphanage was meant to be side content, but Nagoshi, the creator, insisted it was essential for Kiryu's character development. The problem is, the two storylines don't always connect smoothly. For example, Kiryu will be preparing for the fight of his life, but suddenly stop everything to host a wrestling tournament for the kids. Feels last minute and forced. A remake could fix this with expanded cutscenes and better integration, similar to how Kiwami 1 fleshed out its story. At the end of Yakuza 2, Kiryu and Sayama form a relationship, but at the start of Yakuza 3, magically they just split up with little to no explanation. Kiwami 3 could finally give us closure on why their relationship ended, or go more in depth into their relationship. Three characters who supposedly died in Yakuza 3 have since returned. And we're talking about a guy riddled with machine gun fire, someone shot in the head, and another thrown off a hospital roof. Bringing them back makes death feel absolutely meaningless. And Kiwami 3 is the perfect opportunity to fix this, either by not killing these characters at all, or by rewriting their death scenes in a way that makes survival more believable. Not only would it fix the dated gameplay and pacing issues, but it would also preserve an essential part of Kiryu's story for new players, while showcasing Okinawa in the Dragon engine in what could easily become the best looking game in the entire series. If I missed anything, or if you've got your own thoughts on a potential remake, let me know in the comments. I like to hear what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.